Welcome to the Coffee Club, broadcasting live from New York with your host, Felix, and co-host, Dr. Mark. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
There is no heaven, there is no hell, there is only this world and its dark reflection, and we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
I could tell you which two of the two worlds we're in.
Not so loud.
This is not loud, Mark. You're just tired.
You're right.
It's not going to register if you don't talk normal. Look at this little penis. I mean, look at the microphone of music.
Well, you're the one. You're the one that says size doesn't matter.
You want me to whisper into this thing? It's going to come out like live from New York. It doesn't work that way. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the much belated and waited for live
from New York. It's Friday night, almost Saturday morning.
And we are again, after extreme technical difficulties and other...
Well, I think we should explain, Felix, that if people knew what the topic was, the topic sentence is, "Oh, what a day it has been." And for Felix, it's been one of those days. I guess we've all had it, but I'll probably let him explain it because it's been happening to you.
If you see me, you see that I'm having right now some yogurt, frozen yogurt. Why would you be interrupting me while I'm having my yogurt? You keep talking. Jesus Christ, what the hell do you expect me to do here? No, all kidding aside,
I got to do everything. Got to do everything here.
We really had one hell of a crazy day. I mean, we go on live at 9 o'clock and it's now 11:37.
Felix took a pregnancy test today and he realized that at the age of 63 he's going to be a father again. So, I mean, it would really be, I mean, how would you react to something like that?
Exactly. And one thing, Mark, you didn't notice because you shut the door before, but when we first went on, the dogs were barking. They want to come in and eat. They don't care that we're running late.
Well, I mean, how long have they been out there now? 4 hours? I don't blame them.
Yeah.
You know, really. But, you know, I'm not putting my hand down, you know.
No, because as I was, going through the checklists, all of a sudden I'm hearing these dogs barking and screaming.
Felix bought some stuff for peroxide from CVS for anal cleansing, it says. I guess...
anal?
You know, you gotta... You know, it's like one of those where you gotta flush it out, you know? I mean, like the old... the stuff, the hot water bag that our parents used to use for us when we were kids.
Well,
you know...
the Dr. Mark, before we forget.
But I'm not that kind of doctor.
No.
But I do want to know, does size really make a difference?
I don't know, though. If you're not that kind of doctor, why do you keep trying to shove it up my hiney? I'm sorry.
Because when you unscrew this, it says, I mean, you know, you've got to, well, whatever it is, it says enter here or whatever, I don't know.
But anyway, in case by some chance
somebody is listening,
there's actually an idiot out there that's listening to our show. I'm sorry, we should never call anybody in our audience an idiot. If one of our faithful, beloved listeners,
our esteemed listeners, yes,
beloved listeners, somehow are still up and tune us in and realize that we're actually here, and if you really want to give us a call before
that means you, Dan Monaco,
or anybody else, we'd like you to call now at 646-595 3276
7.5.
3275.
And those are your good reading. Those are your good reading glasses.
That's true.
In any event, Felix has had one of those days, folks.
Well,
He's on some medication, and it got messed up, and he stopped taking it, and he's having a real bad reaction to it. Unfortunately, one of the things that happened while he was not himself, shall we say, is he unplugged every wire in the studio, and we had to try to figure out what goes where, and if we could actually have a show. I'm here, my eyes are closing, I'm falling asleep, so this is really a test more or less for tomorrow. We can get something going tomorrow afternoon.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a delicious cup of yogurtino, vanilla, no sugar added yogurt.
Who gives a damn?
Added to it, there are fresh strawberries, sugar-free chocolate.
Felix, if anybody's actually listening to this, they really don't want to hear that. They want to hear about your day. I mean, after all, it said, "Oh, what a day it has been."
Oh, what a day it's been. Well, I'll tell you what kind of day it's been. I think this is going to be very self-explanatory.
Now, if I could hear that, I would understand.
Well, that was a whoopee cushion, as you call it.
Well, that's what it is. It's a whoopee cushion.
And, not over here it says fart. It doesn't say whoopee cushion.
I'm trying to add some class to our show. As it is, we have low class. If it wasn't for low class, we'd have no class at all. Exactly.
Well, anyway, let me just give you a little rundown of, not so much today, but my week.
Didn't your speech professor in college tell you that you can't speak and eat at the same time?
Yeah. And he flunked me, too.
Gee, I wonder why.
I was eating a sundae in the final. And I was giving my all. Anyway, I'm not going to give you specific dates because my memory is foggy and nobody really gives a hoot when this happened. But let's say about a week ago, I started getting, I don't know, what would you call maybe panic attacks. I couldn't sleep at night. At 3 a.m, I'd be walking the streets, and definitely I wasn't getting. Nobody's making any propositions to me, and I wasn't proposing to anybody.
Yeah, you were like a real homeless guy.
Yeah.
I think you actually walked into the wrong refrigerator box also, didn't you?
I did a lot of things.
The wrong address,
yes. Walked into the wrong house, into the wrong people. And when I walked in, I saw who they were. I said, you should really keep your doors locked. You never know. Walk at 3 a.m. And I locked the door for them and I walked out. Really, really horrible. Couldn't control myself. I'd yell and scream. I kicked a big hole in the wall in my house. Did you see the hole I kicked in?
I must have missed it.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you on the way out. I had to cover it up with something because it's big. It looks like somebody's head went through it. Anyway, so being worried about it, I went to the doctor, and the doctor looked at me. I told him my symptoms, and he says he gave me some. He says he must be having some really bad some kind of anxiety attacks or panic attacks. He gave me 2 other medications to take to try to calm me down, and as he said, it kick it out of my system, because that's a lot of doctors say when you have a panic attack, you will take any kind of medication that will physically or literally kick it out of your system. Well,
Yeah,
so
but
you-
I saw you hitting the scotch bottle. Was that trying to,
No.
kick it out of your system?
No, you don't drink with the stuff you've given me. All kidding aside. So I'm taking all this medication, extra medication, and I'm getting, as long as I'm on it, I'm not well, but at least I'm not putting my, fist through any walls or anything, but I'm really not doing very well at all, but surviving. I can't sleep at night.
Wasn't your wife admitted to the emergency room? She had bruises all over her body?
That's none of your business. And
Well, I mean,
and I'm innocent of anything. The bruises you see on my knuckles are
in other words,
when
you
I fell on the
don't
floor.
you don't remember, huh?
I'm eating. All that's good coming up. Okay.
I have no knowledge of that.
I remember nothing.
You see nothing too.
That's true. But anyway, so I finally take these medications.
Felix, I got to tell you, you never sounded so good. Keep eating. People may actually understand what you're saying now. That's
Yeah.
very good.
If anybody ever remembers Young Frankenstein, the movie with Mel Brooks movie, and Frankenstein's favorite sound is Anyway, that's what I've been sounding like for the last 3-4 days. Like,
You know how long it took him to learn his lines, ladies and gentlemen?
that took about a week.
We had to train him.
Yeah. So anyway, so he gave me the doctor gave me these medications, and it really didn't seem to be going away. The minute I went off the medication, my anxiety or panic attacks, or whatever it was that I was having, were getting worse, and I'd have to take more medication just to bring me back to be able to just walk around. People at work thought I had a stroke, maybe I had a mini stroke, and I should go to the hospital. It was really bad, to say the least. So the doctor said we're going to have to do something drastic. He says, you're taking this medication.
A frontal lobotomy.
No, that I had last week. This time I'm having one in the back. No, he told me I'm taking this medication. He said, I want you to up it by another 20 milligrams and go up to 60.
Here's your peroxide. Why don't you up it?
So he says go up to 60 milligrams from 40. Maybe that'll knock it out. He says he doesn't know what else to do. So I ran home and I decided to go break that pill in half and take that extra 20, and maybe it'll start working. Except when I got there was no pill at home to break. It seems like the pharmacist forgot to refill one of my prescriptions, and I was going through a very bad drug withdrawal. The doctor, when I told him what I did, what happened...
You better be careful. The FDA might be listening to this, Along with the FBI.
Yeah, and what are those guys up in the sky?
NSA.
NSA. What the doctor basically said to me is I was having probably worse withdrawal symptoms than if I was a drug addict on heroin and trying to go cold turkey.
I don't know. It seemed to me you had the shakes.
I had everything. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't talk.
You couldn't even swallow that glass of scotch that you had.
I didn't eat in like 5 days. I couldn't eat.
I know. You look like you lost about 50 pounds.
Considering I started at 60, that's not a good thing. But anyway, so finally, we're realizing that due to a mistake on my part, partly on the drugstore part, I was taking a double dose of of some kind of a blood pressure medication, and the medication that I've been taking for 20 years for my panic attacks, which I haven't had in 20 years. I wasn't taking it.
That's what the medication was for.
Yeah, and I wasn't taking it, and I haven't been taking it, and I was having withdrawal symptoms from it. And when I went to see my pharmacist just to see what's going on and try to ask him, and in his nice Indian voice, he said, "You fool! You fool!" Because he said, "How could you do that?" You know, and then I said to him, "You fool! You gave me the medicine."
After listening to the way you mess up his accent, I'm not surprised he messed up your medication.
Basically, he said, I asked him what the normal time for getting over this kind of withdrawal symptoms, considering I haven't slept in days. I haven't eaten in a few days, not of any consequence anyway. I'm popping Xanax and other pills like they were candy, and they're not even helping. And he said normally, he says it would take 2 to 3 weeks on the managed withdrawal. But he goes, he's never seen a person that's been on this medication since its inception 20 years ago. I was probably one of the first people that ever used it. And they've never had a case where they had to have somebody go through withdrawal of it the way it has been. And that's the way it's been now. And this is the first thing I'm eating in about 3-4 days.
I know, our audience can tell.
And if you can tell, it's delicious. And yummy. And the last thing one of the other reactions that I had was last night I woke up and my tongue was swollen, and it had what do you call it? Like pimples? I'm not sure what you would call it. All over it, and I couldn't even move my tongue, literally. I'm sitting there, it was stiff as a board. That didn't make me very happy, and so then I took some more Xanax and some more of the other medication.
Well, why don't you tell our audience that you woke up in jail? You know, they picked you up for vagrancy because you couldn't answer the policeman's questions. He asked you what your name was.
No, I didn't wake up in jail. That's hard. I was walking around. This is the truth. This is what happened. Yesterday, I guess about yesterday morning, I tried to go to work and I couldn't make it. So I came back home, and because of the way you feel from this medication, you can't sit still, you can't stand up, there's no position you can be that you're comfortable. You really can't do anything. So I took a whole bunch of Xanax and I started walking around, and I guess about 3 hours later, the guy in Sleepy's is waking me up, yelling at me, if I'm not buying the bed, get the hell out of here. But I don't know how I ever got there.
Well, actually, Sleepy's is not far from your in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you thought you were visiting them, and you wound up in the store.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, the salesman was pretty nasty about it. I mean, he said it was okay when I took off my shoes. When I started taking off my pants and my shirt in the store, he wasn't very happy. And if any of you people are enjoyers of art, there's a newspaper called News of the Weird. I'm sure that's going to be somewhere in one of the top stories that they have that they're going to publish.
Did you tell our audience that you are one of the writers for that newspaper?
No, but I'm going to deny it when they publish it, I'll tell you that. And I'm also going to deny that the hole in the wall was when I was trying to kick my wife and I missed her, and I hit the wall instead.
I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if I wasn't so tired, it's very difficult to keep a straight face and listen to all of this.
And the funny thing is, Mark knows about 80% of what I'm telling is truth.
Yes, everything about kicking his wife is definitely true.
Thanks. You know, I will tell you, I've changed names around, and
Well, you still use my name.
How do you know it's really you?
You gotta change my name to protect the innocent. I'm just sitting here listening to you spew all this, you know. Thanks a lot.
But
although
but I did listen to protect the innocent.
In the Middle East, after eating a meal like you did, if you don't eat when you belch, it's a sign that you satisfied.
But after I will, because to protect the innocent, I have changed some names around, and it may have not really been at Sleepy's. It may have been another place that I fell asleep in. That's probably a lot more embarrassing than Sleepy's. But I will tell you that I don't know if I'm really feeling that much better yet, but I'm sure having a sort of strange broadcast. I normally am the quiet one on the broadcast, and Mark comes to you with all the words of wisdom and everything else.
No words of wisdom. The only thing I came up with was the blurb for the title and the description, and it all has to do with you, and that's why I let you do all the talking tonight.
Well, listen, do you know why? Because there's no wisdom here. I said you do the words of wisdom.
Well, it was just one of those days for you, and I certainly couldn't explain it better than you yourself could, so that's why the microphone is all yours.
And I don't know who flushed the toilet, but it's not me. But somebody just flushed the toilet. Is anybody else here besides me and you?
No, I don't think so.
We got a problem then, ladies and gentlemen. I literally did not flush the toilet.
But I think there's certainly one thing that we can play that will describe the mood that the two of us are in right now.
There is no heaven. There is no hell.
No, let him finish.
Only this world.
He does it so much better than
dark
you.
Reflection.
That's true.
And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
You know, it's he's right. I know which world I'm in. I'm in hell, and I must say that this is the first time, I think, since I've been sick, that I had my doctor voluntarily calling me up, laughing at me, and asking how I'm doing at the same time.
Well, I know that he inquired at South Oaks about reserving a bed for you, just in case, if the withdrawal got to be too much.
Well, when was our last broadcast we did? What day is today?
I don't even, and it was Wednesday. I don't even remember.
Well, let's see. It's 11:59, so it's going to be Saturday.
No, but I don't even remember. It was Wednesday.
The last show on
Wednesday.
No, Friday. We always do a Friday show.
We know we did a Wednesday show.
We didn't do a Friday show? Oh, today is a Friday show.
This was supposed to be a Friday show.
Oh, okay. We did a show on Wednesday, and I did very well. I slept through most of the show, but nobody knew it because we were doing some...
Yes, we would talk. Dr. Don and I were exchanging pleasantries about the movie Noah and discussing scripture, okay, and when we called for you, you were nowhere to be found.
Well, we did a remote show, which we normally don't do, so everybody was in a different place, and for some reason, Well, I know I fell asleep. Haven't slept like 3 days. And
Felix fell asleep with the cat licking his nose.
And I haven't slept for a few days, and I took some medication, and it knocked me out. But the funny thing is, I wasn't snoring that whole time.
Which would have been a worry for me if it had been me falling asleep.
Yeah, I mean, I normally snore, so I don't understand why I wasn't snoring. And then finally, my wife came in because everybody was calling me on my cell, which I didn't hear. And then they finally called the house, and my wife had to go to the studio, which she's not too happy about because it's not exactly around the corner.
No, it's about 3 steps away.
And she woke me, I guess she woke me up, and I had no idea where I was broadcasting. I didn't know where I was. It was not a pleasant experience.
Well,
but it was the first good nap I had in 4 or 5 days.
Dr. Don and I had a wonderful conversation.
Well, I listened to it later on. It's one of the best shows that I know I ever had. I didn't miss one cue. You didn't hear me mispronounce one word.
It's very true. It's very true. But I have news for you. Folks, I am getting real tired, and I have to drive home. Oh. I have very far to travel. A little more than 3 steps.
Yeah. Would you like me to drive you?
No, that's quite all right.
My wife tells me the last few days, I probably, when I was taking some of the medication, I should have been driving. And she kept bugging me that she needed to go somewhere with me. She got in the car, and the whole ride, literally, she's screaming, "Stop, left, right, go straight. What are you doing?" The whole ride.
Well, I have to say that I taught all 4 of my children to drive, so they all drive like me.
Yeah, well, luckily, I did make it safe. I did make it home safe and sound because I never saw the stop signs that she told me to stop at, or the cars that she told me to avoid. It's just, it was,
well,
to me it was like one of those comedy shows where a blind man is driving and the woman is telling him what to do. That's what I felt like.
God takes care of drunks and fools, that type of thing,
And I'm a drunken fool, so.
That's very well. Drunk as far as medication is concerned,
anyway,
not alcohol.
No, not alcohol. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I can see that Dr. Mark has been very patient waiting for us to get our system back up and running. And I'm hoping that the people who do hear this show tonight will give us a raving review saying that the quality has improved since I put Mini Mite on duty here.
Size does matter.
And Mighty Mite is next to it.
Very true.
And the first time we've done it this way, and actually it's a very comfortable way of doing the show.
Well, actually, the song says this could be the start of something big. You start out small and you get big.
For you, maybe the start of something big. For me, it's the start of something very small. Anyway.
I have to get home before my wife gives me an argument.
You go home. I am going to wish everybody a farewell good night. Again, I apologize if you did turn on tonight at 9 o'clock and there was no show. That was due to unfortunate circumstances. But we'll make it up by torturing you with another show probably tomorrow.
And sometime in the afternoon, no doubt.
To be determined. And then hopefully we'll go back to schedule on Monday, 9 o'clock. And we're going to do our normal coffee club broadcast. And maybe Friday or the week after we'll surprise you with and we'll bring in the Doc and the Rebellious Rev. Because those shows seem to draw a very large
More
audience.
prayers of peace.
Yes, but those shows seem to draw the largest audience when the Doc is actually here.
Oh, you mean you're going to get him from the National Action Network?
Yep, the actual, really the doc.
The real Rev.
The real thing, and the rebellious Rev is a nut job. So,
no difference from Felix.
No, just like me. But the last show we did when we spoke, when the show was done on prayers of peace, it was a real big success. It was a hit because people were quite interested in hearing that no matter what faith you are.
People weren't sure exactly what they were listening to, so they actually hung up and kept dialing, and we had one. We actually had one person dialing 16 times because he couldn't make up his mind whether it was really us.
Yeah, we were doing Muslim prayers and peace, and then a Jewish, and then we do a Christian, but we tell you it's of another faith, and you couldn't tell. Every faith that we knew, or in every major faith, all say turn the other cheek. They all say have peace.
This has nothing to do with today's broadcast.
Hey, I got an excuse. I'm stoned.
Bye.
I think I just had my co-host just walk out on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
So go feed the dogs, Dr. Mark. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of the doc and myself, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, adios.